The following podcast contains adult language, profound stupidity, hardcore nudity, and drug references. Children should not listen to it. Everyone else, but fucking Olive. Nailed it.
Hey everyone, and welcome to Plotty Time, the podcast where we three gamers discuss video game stories in detail with all the necessary and appropriate backlash. My name is Poppascotch, and with me, as always, is Chump Slap.
Hey.
Thank you, Chump Slap. Appreciate the solidarity. And Dr. Syintist.
Hey!
Setting the tone today. I love it. So let's start with you, Syintist. You're in a great mood. What have you... No, you never are. But what have you... What have you done this week? What have you played? What have you watched? What's the deal?
I only have Infinity War left to watch out of the Marvel movies.
Nice.
And
Attaboy.
I played Secret of Mana remake all week, and that was probably it. I think that's all I did. Watch some Fringe.
When did Secret of Mana... What system did that come out for originally?
SNES.
Oh, okay.
What was it remade on?
Yeah.
PS4.
Does it look good?
Nah.
That's a bummer.
Is it like a complete update, or is it just
graphical
port?
update.
Okay,
Everything else is pretty much the same.
cool. Do you watch anything else besides Infinity War?
Fringe. That's about it.
Okay. Well, what about you, Chump Slap? What'd you play? What'd you do? What's happening?
Well, I got myself back into Sekiro, which apparently all I needed was a week off so I could forget how to play and relearn it the correct way.
Oh, nice. I've done that too.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet. The game's actually fun again.
That's cool. I was actually talking to somebody yesterday that was basically had the same thought process as you, where it's like, I played it and I was like, meh. And like putting it down and going back to it and trying again and working through it is like the way to do it, I guess.
Yeah, because you just get your mind set on one way to fight, and then you get to a boss and you need to fight a totally different way, and you're like, I can't figure it out.
Yeah.
That's how it felt.
I've done that too, where you're like playing a boss and you're just getting destroyed, and you're like, okay, I'm doing something wrong here.
Yeah.
Like I'm clearly missing something. I don't know what it is, but that's cool. Any what you've been watching here?
I don't think I watched anything really. Just been futzing around with my magic decks and switching those up. Watching
Comedy Bang Bang.
I stopped watching that for a minute. Just watching the same old horror movies over and over again, I think they're the same.
Who do you think is the best band leader that Comedy Bang Bang had?
I'll have to go with Reggie Watts.
Yeah, that's the right choice.
I think that's an excellent choice, but I think my favorite was Kid Cudi because...
He's a close second. He was really funny.
Well, he was like... I felt like Reggie Watts and Scott Aukerman were like... They're very similar. And it's like the same type of comedy, and they're very much on the same page.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
It's like having two of them, and then Kid Cudi's like a different dynamic. Weird Al was great too. I don't want to like bring him down at all.
Yeah,
because I know he's a big fan of the show, so I don't want him to take offense.
He's friend of the show.
So what did you do, Poppascotch?
Yeah, what you been playing?
Haven't played jack shit. Been traveling. Haven't done anything on my PS4. I have no idea if my TV in my living room works anymore. I haven't turned it on the last 2 weeks. Like, it could have broke. No idea. But other than that, I did finally get around to watching half of the Love, Death, Robots show.
Oh, that's good.
Nice.
What's your favorite one so far?
Dude, they're all fantastic. Like,
Until you
I
get
love
to
the
yogurt
format.
one.
I love the series.
I like the yogurt one.
Is that the one where they took over Ohio?
Yeah, I think yogurt takes over the world.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it was stupid, and I wasn't a huge fan, but it was like 6 minutes long, so I was like, all right.
Yeah, it was still good.
What do we got next? The first one with the woman who was leading the battle lizard or whatever, that was fantastic.
Man, that was the first one?
Oh, yeah, that one was cool. And
that was great.
I like still my favorite one, I think, was the three robots talking.
The three robots in the post-apocalyptic city. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd watch a TV show of that. Like, just that happening for 100 episodes. No problem. I'd watch everyone.
That would be pretty sweet.
That was great. And the other one the one that was like an animation thing where they're living on a farm and like running around in mech suits and fighting off.
Oh, yeah.
Every time.
Like that was great.
Yeah. Something comes from a different dimension or whatever.
Yeah, that was really cool.
That was neat.
But I still have like half of them to finish, but I love it so far. Other than that, I really haven't watched much this week. I plan to make up for it this upcoming week.
Lots of Division.
Expect a lot more Division talk. Maybe I'll hit the max gear level. I don't know. We'll have time.
I did see it's like $40 this on a sale today or something.
Is it?
Something like that.
Damn it.
Till the 22nd, so yesterday, today. And
Oh, that's tempting.
I mean, I love it. Like, if you don't... I don't know. Chump Slap, I think you might, because you got into Destiny, but it's not first person. It's third person, which I know you don't like. So...
Well, I played God of War, which was third person.
I'm the one who hates third person.
It wasn't a shooter, but...
Oh, kind of.
How's God of War kind of a shooter?
Oh, you throw it and it comes back to you.
As much as throwing a boomerang is like shooting a gun, yeah.
Yeah.
And again, we cannot argue with Dr. Syintist. He's absolutely right. But let's talk about some news that came out this week that I wanted to mention.
Oh, yeah?
The Mueller report?
Yeah. We're going to read it word for word right now on the podcast.
I did watch a guy on YouTube do it and explain everything. Not at the whole thing, but...
Yeah, not the redacted part.
Yeah.
There was a news release that came out where they talked about some of the details of the PS5.
Oh, I did see that. I saw some of it, but...
Yeah, I saw some of it.
The highlights basically are it's going to contain a solid-state drive, so stuff's going to load faster. It's going to have the PSVR that exists right now will be compatible with it, so you don't have to upgrade to the next version of VR when it comes out. The big one, though, is it's going to be backwards compatible with PS4.
Well, it has to be. I mean, there's still PS4 games in development, and when's this supposed to be coming out? Like a year or two?
They said they didn't say when it's coming out, but they said it's not 2019.
Okay.
So a year or two.
Yeah.
If I had to guess with my, I don't know, zero insider information knowledge, I'd say probably September 2020, because they usually release like the fall.
I was going to say November.
Yeah, I thought it was November, but around-ish.
Yeah, well, the fall, September, October, November. We're not going to get it like February 2020. That's not going to happen.
Oh.
But it looks interesting. It looks like they are listening to or kind of learning from what they might have done wrong or misstepped. They're trying to fix it.
Oh, yeah?
They also said retail, I think, is going to be 500, and they're taking a loss on every unit they sell.
They say that every time they come out with a new PlayStation.
Yeah, you're right. And eventually they sell a fuckload of them and all their proprietary games and all their PS Plus memberships and all that bullshit. So
yeah, and then it goes down in price. So I don't fucking understand. I don't believe.
Well, there's no way they're actually going to take a loss.
Yeah, seriously.
yeah, if it wasn't profitable,
They wouldn't do
then
it.
why would they do it?
Yeah.
There was also the other Sony news that came out was someone uncovered or recognized or found out that Sony had released guidelines on sexual themes in games in regards to the PS4.
Oh, really? Like shit you couldn't do?
It was shit you couldn't do in the game, but they also, the one that came up and the reason people thought of it was Devil May Cry. Like there was a scene where hair kind of gets in the way of an exposed female bottom, but in like the European and all the other releases, it shows everything.
Oh.
And that's when they started to investigate. But Sony released a thing and said it was because of the Me Too movement, and they didn't want to like get in trouble for that, which is complete and utter bullshit.
Is it?
Yeah, I mean, why can't there be games that have sexual themes in them?
I think they just don't want it.
Don't want the headache.
Yeah, they just don't want people to even have a reason to fucking bitch about it. You know what I mean?
Because then they don't have to put out press releases and all that bullshit.
I get it, but then when you look at games like Catherine or stuff like that.
Did you ever play Catherine?
No, never.
Okay.
Why?
Because you can't really compare it to what he's talking about. But
why, there's no nudity in it? There's no butt?
There's some butt. But
But it's like Bayonetta, like there's sexualization to it.
That's a Nintendo game.
What, Bayonetta?
Bayonetta 2 is.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's all. I don't know. I mean,
I guess they don't have a Me Too movement in Europe then.
Maybe, or just games will start throwing dongers out there, and no one will care.
I don't ever remember seeing one.
You never seen a dick in a game?
No.
I've never seen a vagina in a game.
In this century?
Not since, what was that
Did I
game
say
for
in a
Atari?
game? I meant I've never seen a vagina.
No. I was going to say. But, because I've played Kirby's Adventure, and that game is fucking filthy. Filthy.
Sure is.
But, let's get to the game we're going to talk about today.
Yeah, let's.
We are talking about the PC, PS4, PC, PS3, Xbox 360 game called Bulletstorm. It was made by People Can Fly, and Epic Games, and published by EA back on February 22nd, 2011. It was also re-released for PlayStation 4, Xbox One. It's a action game, shooter, kind of like a score-based system, and the writer was Rick Remender, who is actually more known as a comic book writer, and he did such titles as Fear Agent. He did Deadly Class, which was recently made into a TV show on Sci-Fi, which is great. The End League, he did some issues of Punisher, and Uncanny X-Force.
There's an Uncanny X-Force?
I guess.
That's fucking...
You know they had to, yeah.
You couldn't use another name. Uncanny's not that fucking hot of a term.
They must have run out of synonyms. Their thesaurus was lost. Just make it uncanny.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
I forgot to mention it, but he also did a couple issues of Venom and Tokyo Ghost. Now, who picked this one this week? This was you, Mr. Chump Slap, right?
Sure was.
Why don't you give us a brief rundown of what happens?
Well, in this game, you're an assassin.
You're not an assassin, but
You're hired
you're
by
a kill
Serrano.
force or something, but you're not hired.
By definition, you complete assassinations.
Yeah, you assassinate people.
But you're working in the beginning for a government.
Yes.
You're more like SEAL Team 7.
Yes.
Okay.
Would you call them assassins?
Well, yeah.
I mean, their job is to kill people. We're talking like soldiers more than assassins. We're not talking about like sexy, wet assassin.
Yeah, sorry, not Assassin's Creed assassins. We're talking like, soldiers who have to kill people, specific people. Anyway, you're Grayson. I don't know what else your name is, but Grayson. And you find out your boss, your general, who has sent you to kill these people, has been making you kill reporters, regular citizens, and you're not happy about it, so you decide you want to kill him. So you crash your ship through his and crash land on a planet, and you're trying to get off the planet. And that's pretty much what the game is.
Yep, they basically, this unit that are called Dead Echo, they take themselves out of the equation and become space pirates.
Space pirates, I like that, yes.
Kind of like the special forces team from The Rock trying to get payback. And
Yes, yeah, okay.
That's exactly what it is, except they're not.
Except the ones in The Rock aren't space pirates.
Well, yes, obviously the space pirate. If they had a spaceship, I guarantee those guys would be space pirates for fucking sure. But they were more mad at the government, and they felt unjustified. It wasn't so much because this one seems like they're just angry at Serrano.
Yeah, this is personal.
Well, it was just a.
But I see what you're saying. You're pretty. That's an apt description. I'll take it.
What I wanted to understand is, how did they not know they were killing civilians? Like,
Yeah, this last one they just found out.
yeah.
Oh, we killed him while he was fucking on his computer.
Oh, look, he's looking at ours.
Oh, look, he's a fucking... What?
Yeah, that's a good question. But who were those people that came out to then get in a firefight with him in that scene? Were they like the security at the building, or were they soldiers that were going to eliminate Dead Echo because they like found out?
I think there was just security at the building. Because I don't think before they found out, nobody cared. I mean, they were doing this regularly. So
Well,
how would they have known that they found out that he was a civilian right
Bryce
away?
Novak knew.
Who?
That was the reporter they killed in the beginning.
Oh.
Yeah, Bryce Novak apparently. That was also an interesting scene because they were like looking through his computer, which they weren't even planning to like look through his computer or take any data or anything like that. Ishii just sat down, and was like, "Hold on, I gotta check this out."
Let's look at the sick shit in his history.
Yeah, I assumed they killed him while he was at the computer, right?
Yeah.
Yes, but then once he was dead, they were gonna just leave, and Ishii's like, "Wait, let me check this computer," and that's when because I guess he had an inkling that what they were doing wasn't on the level, so he wanted to.
Well, because there was no
Did he?
security force or anything that they kind of just walked down the side of a building.
Oh, yeah. Let's talk about that.
No, that's ridiculous. Let's not talk about that.
Imagine how strong your calves have to be.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Even your core, like you have to just.
Yeah, they're making it look fucking effortless. And you're keeping your body at 90 degrees with your feet attached? Yeah, that's got to be.
I'd love to see what it would look like with a normal person on those boots. Like,
You couldn't move.
you couldn't. It would be hilarious. You'd just be dangling by 1 foot
Yeah.
off the side of the building.
Yeah, that'd be. Like, you just snap your ankles.
Yeah.
I was thinking like those sticky octopuses you used to be able to throw in the wall. And they,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
They
Wacky
just,
wall
like,
climbing.
Yeah.
roll over themselves
Yeah.
until they fall off. I'd play that game. But before we get to that scene, we have a slight, I guess it's a prelude. It's the official beginning of the game.
Yeah.
Starts with one of our favorite moments in all the video games that we've seen, which is an interrogation.
The ridiculous easy interrogation.
Oh, yes. You're a bounty hunter. Who sent you?
Who apparently drinks too much. Oh, well, the bounty hunter
Well,
doesn't drink too much, but you do. Grayson.
I was going to say, what do you say?
We probably should put that addendum that they're drunken space pirates in the beginning of the thing.
Well, I think only Grayson is. Everybody else seems annoyed
Well,
at
I
his
think-
drunkenness.
I think pirate just. Do you have to say drunken? Pirate?
Yeah, fair point.
I've-
Well, because there's a scene where they're like, "Do we have any more booze?" And they're like, "No, we drank it all." So I assumed it was a group effort, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, Grayson could just be a insane alcoholic.
But then they throw that guy out the airlock after he gives them the information. Just toss him out.
Yeah, just kick him into space.
Well, you can't let bounty hunters come back for you.
That's a good point. But he sort of does when he blows up the outside of the ship, which I thought was an adorable moment.
How does he do that?
I have no idea.
You have a couple seconds before you die. He probably had it ready. I don't know how he got it out. Like, they have to search for him. The thing's huge.
Well, probably when they close the airlock, he's like, "Oh, grab it."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or he had some kind of system on his suit that made him like move around through space with compressed air. I don't know. I don't know how space works. You're the scientist.
This game's ridiculous.
All right.
True.
No real basis of science. Got it.
There is no science in this game.
Because that preamble happens. That's the flashback, and then going back to real time, they see the ship and they ram it. The ship is called the Ulysses,
Yes.
I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And Grayson, being drunk and on a revenge boner, decides to ram him.
Yeah. And he just flies into like the heart of the ship or something and
Yeah,
comes
crashes
out the
the
other
whole thing.
side.
Yeah.
But it was a mortal wound to the ship. I don't understand how
Yeah.
that works.
Yeah, because their ship was mostly in. I mean, they both crashed, but their ship was mostly intact, and the battle cruiser was completely fucked. It was like broken in half.
Yeah. He just like takes it out of the sky. His ship's fine and just crashes and they survive. Crash on a planet and survive.
Well, Ishii gets crushed.
He still survives, technically.
Yeah.
Technically, yeah. Yeah, he does. And they, like, the very first mission, what was the first mission? Don't you just get, like, a power cell or something like
Yeah,
that?
because they needed to heal Ishii.
Yeah, he wasn't powered up enough, and then they.
Well, they needed to
Destroyed the lab
power
or
up the
something.
medical bay to repair him.
Oh yes, that's first.
And this is where you're going with your boy, Rel is his name.
Yeah.
And it's okay if you forgot about him because he dies very quickly here, and I think it's a goddamn shame.
He just disappeared, and I was like, all right, I'll just ask them what happened to him.
Oh, you definitely watch him die.
Yeah, he gets shot in the butt and dies. He had some of the best lines in the game, and we will get to those.
I didn't even write them down because I figured
There's
you'd have a
too
whole
many
bunch.
of them, man. Way too
Yeah,
many.
there's so many quotes in this game.
Was the doctor Rel?
No,
The guy
Rel
that
was
goes with
the
you again.
soldier.
Okay.
It was Dr. Whitlock was the name of the doctor. I did have to look all this up. I didn't remember.
I was gonna say that
off the
wasn't
top
in
of
the
my head.
movie.
Yeah, definitely.
They just kept calling him Doc.
But anyway, so they get as they're getting the cell, we should also because this is one of the big parts in the game. One of the big mechanics is Grayson gets what's called the instinct leash, as it's called.
Yeah.
Which allows it to act kind of like a whip, like a bullwhip in Indiana Jones, and like pull things and move things, and also pull enemies towards you.
Well, since we're talking about sticky little rubber things, it's kind of like those ones that you get out of. It's like a slappy hand.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. Are there any other? Well, let's think. Maybe there might be other sticky rubber things we can work into this.
But when you grab people, it like slows them down. Like, what is that?
Yes.
How does that work?
I'm not sure exactly how or why it slows them down. That sounds like a scientist question if I ever heard one.
I don't know what's going on in this
Did
game.
it slow them down, or did it slow you down to where you could
Or speed
focus?
you up? I don't know. I think it was just a way for you to get extra points.
Yeah, because it's definitely a point-based system game, which they do explain why that happens, which I thought was...
Stupid.
I don't know if I want to say interesting.
Yeah, that's not the word I'd use, but it was pretty neat. Like, it was like, oh, if you're good enough, you'll get extra ammo. If not, you die.
The guy playing during the movie was terrible, too.
They always are. I think this is just what we have to live with.
It was really bad because I watched a speed run of it before that was all skill shots, and the guy was just destroying everything. And then watching that guy slowly go through and kill every single enemy the same way was just unbearable.
Yeah, there was a video that was like 171 skill shots or whatever. It's like every single one in the game. That's pretty nuts.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you use those points to get power-ups and weapons and ammo and stuff like that. But, so what happens after they get the cell, Mr. Scientist?
Well, they go back to their broken ship, give it to the doc, and he starts a procedure on Ishii to save him. And then monsters break in and kill the doc, and I assume kill Rel. And Ishii's only like half done, maybe? I don't know.
And then, does it cause the whole ship, or wherever they are, to just explode or something? Because they have to run out? Or
Wasn't sure about that. I thought they just
were there
escaped.
just explosions in the lab that I was thinking of?
Yeah.
Well, they left because the ship wasn't going to get them out of there. Like, they needed to find another way out.
Yeah, that's right.
But the ship wasn't having, like, blowing up. There were the savages or the locals were trying to get in and kill them.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
And then you kill a couple of them in that. But, so you save, and Ishii ends up surviving this.
Yeah, he's half robot, half Ishii.
But he didn't finish his entire cyborging.
Cyborganation?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that sounds good. Cyborganation. Hashtag.
I don't know what other word you'd use for it.
So then he has to fight the cyborg taking over his brain.
That's what it seems like.
Like, he's like, oh, keep your humanity, man.
Yeah. They mentioned it like the AI or something.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
that.
that's what they're saying.
Like the cyborg AI is taking over. And Ishii, while he was kind of pissy before he became a cyborg, now he's a real dick.
Well, I mean, Grayson has kind of ruined his entire life, and now he's a half cyborg.
Yeah, was Ishii the one in the beginning when he's like, what the fuck, man? You could have at least asked us before you just fucked our entire lives over.
Yeah, I think it was either Ishii or Rel said that line. I forget who it was, but they said, you just made a huge group decision for all of us.
Oh, that was Rel. Yeah.
That seems to be Grayson's style.
Yeah, he don't give a fuck.
After they get shot, I guess the point is to get themselves off the island, and I believe that Grayson's instinct leash or whatever has like a radio on it, and he can hear what people are saying.
Yeah, and he hears
Oh, yeah, he hears.
Trishka calling for whatever their team's called. Final Echo? I don't know.
It's a final. I think they're Final Echo. I have it written down somewhere.
Oh,
We'll
so
get to it.
it's Dead Echo and Final Echo?
Yeah, I assume there was an Echo in between, but
So then they just hear her saying, like, hey, if anyone's alive, come to this spot, find me,
yeah.
and let's get the hell out of here.
But then Ishii also says he has to charge his power cell before they can do anything because he's going to die within half an hour.
yeah.
Right. And how does he charge his power cell? Because it's one of the best parts in the game.
I think he sticks his hand in an electrical outlet, basically. Right?
It was like something. I wouldn't call it an outlet.
Well, I couldn't think of anything else to call it. A generator, maybe?
Yeah.
Or like a transformer or some shit. It was this massive structure that took up like half a wall.
Yeah.
And then he's like freaking out and going, blah, 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 blah. He's like, oh, I feel so much better.
Yeah, I don't see a port connected it, and then he just punches it.
That's how electricity works,
Yeah,
right,
I
Syintist?
do. I do like how every time he gets in an elevator, he just punches the buttons and ends up where he wants to go.
When it's like interact with, you just
Yeah.
fist.
It feels very Duke Nukem.
Yeah, there was
Like
a
just
lot
to
of
walk in, slam buttons, and move on.
there was a lot of things like Duke Nukem-ish when I
It sounded like him the entire
Googled
time.
it. What was that? Like,
Yeah.
Was there like a crossover or something?
Well, the only connection I read about was that Gearbox, the people who make Borderlands, they also made the Duke Nukem Forever, finally. I don't know if you guys remember it because that was such a shitty game.
Yeah, no, I don't. I never played it, but yeah, I know.
Not on my radar.
Gearbox also did the remaster for 3 and 4, or for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One.
Oh, they did the Bulletstorm remaster?
So this is why we're getting
Yeah.
Borderlands 3 late, because they had to remaster this game.
And make Aliens Colonial Marines.
Colonel Marines.
Colonel Marines. It's just all Marine colonels just fighting. But yeah, so they go through the thing and you find I forget what the heck the thing is, a gyrocopter enemies. You fight a lot of them.
Yeah. Well, first I don't know, something happens that a big wheel, like a huge grinding wheel, is chasing you as you're trying to get away.
And you jump on a
Yeah.
train
Yeah.
or some shit?
And the whole thing keeps rolling, and you got to, I don't know.
You just stay on the train,
Yeah.
and then it just eventually falls off a cliff or some shit? I didn't
Yeah.
understand that.
You were shooting things to make it blow up to change its course, I think.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, it's one of those classic, you're on a movable object and you have a minigun or a gun and basically all you're doing is shooting.
Yeah.
And it's very fast-paced.
Then after that terrible scene, you end up in a cavern with eggs.
Yeah, and now's a good point to mention that this reminds me a lot of the PlayStation 3 classic we played, Kane and Lynch 2, because the whole story, the whole reason anything happens in Kane and Lynch 2 is because they fucked up, and the whole story is them trying to unfuck the situation.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, they fuck up over one guy, just like this Serrano guy.
Yeah, and it just keeps snowballing into horrible, horrible things.
If Grayson would have shot Serrano's daughter, it would have been the same fucking game.
Yeah, pretty much. But then they're in. Is it like a sewer? It's like a cave, right? A massive cave
yeah.
system.
And big eggs of some sort that they happily just smash.
Yeah, they just shoot through them, and it stinks, apparently.
Yeah.
And I forget if it was right here or it might have been on the train system. I don't remember. But I came to the conclusion that I think Ishii and Robot Ishii are like the only good guy in the game. Because he was the guy that suspected something was wrong. He suspected the reporter was innocent. He found the intel that said he was innocent. And he always thought that Grayson's hunt for revenge was just bullshit.
Well, the only thing, like, do you know that he thought there was something afoot? That's why he checked the computer? Or did he check the computer just in case there was something on it that he could sell, you know?
It could be. I got the idea through his actions that
He assumed something was wrong.
Something.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Just like how easy it was to walk in and shoot that guy. He's like, there's something up here. He was just fucking typing. What?
And did you guys? So they're in this nest. What was the name of the monster? It has a name. It's like Decatron or something like that. Hecaton.
Yeah, Hecaton.
And it's like Godzilla, pretty much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much. Exactly like Godzilla.
Did they ever explain what it was? Was there a backstory for that thing, or were they just like, "Oh, it's a giant monster. We better deal with it"?
Oh, it's a giant monster. We better deal with it.
Oh,
Which
I just assumed it was mutated. Because isn't this planet, they explain, like, something happened in the atmosphere that caused mutating rays to shoot on the planet, and that's why all the humans are turned into these fucking weirdos, psychos and shit.
I think it was they had to create. I think I have it written down, but they had to create something that stabilized the atmosphere.
Yeah.
Because it was a resort town that was built.
Yeah.
Right. And it caused a whole bunch of toxic waste. And the toxic waste, the workers kept getting sick because the workers were just prisoners. It was like prison labor.
Yes, I remember.
And they were pissed about getting sick and dying from radiation, so they destroyed the filter thinking, well, if we kill the filter, there'll be no more waste. But then it turned it into that lightning land and caused everything to fucking go crazy.
Even the plants became sentient, as we learned.
Yeah, the plants are pretty badass.
Are you sure they're sentient or they're just acting on instinct?
Well, Trishka definitely says the word sentient plant.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I'm not saying she's a scientist.
Yeah, I don't take her word for it.
So did you guys remember what Trishka told us about the island, of how it existed now? Obviously from the shit I just said, but how they were talking about how it's like a training ground?
No, I don't remember that.
Oh, yeah, this is when she tells you about the skill points and shit. Well, she's not here yet, but...
Well, you find her soon after you fight the Godzilla thing the first time. She runs away and you chase her. Eventually you catch up to her.
After you fight the Godzilla with the Godzilla? Like when you get the little remote?
No.
Not yet.
The big monster you fly away from, and then you get to the pod that you were supposed to go to, and Trishka isn't there. And then you see her run away, and you chase her.
Yeah, and again, just because you think that's a way out. Or she might lead you to Serrano, or it's a way off the planet. Yeah, because you're pretty much screwed at this point.
You're trying to find Serrano so you can get away off the planet.
Yeah, he's going to have a escape pod.
And then you get to the Godzilla world where you're controlling the animated Godzilla as you're chasing after Trish.
And I think this was slightly before, because there's a whole sequence they don't really show in the cutscene movie where you're going through like a model city.
Yeah, and they do that, and you're going to destroying stupid shit and controlling a Godzilla.
Right. But I thought that was neat. It's like a little monster, like a little nod to all the monster movies.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Destroying a city as it chases you. But eventually you get the remote and you fight that big... It's not the Godzilla monster, but it's a big monster through the street and start slapping people around. And then I love how you finish that sequence. It destroyed a gate and then fell down a massive hole.
Yeah. He's like, oh.
Oh, shit.
At which point, Grayson fake cries and says, I named him Waggleton P. Tallylicker, but I never got the chance to tell him.
I almost shut it off then.
I know. That was whack.
He will be remembered.
So whack.
And then they go down the hole.
Yeah, and you fight your way to a big dam.
Oh, that's what that word is. Yeah. And then you're just following the signal because you find out the signal's coming from a part of the dam.
And you rescue Trishka here.
Yeah, this is where you find her.
And you team up with her then.
She doesn't totally trust you guys at all.
Well, she knows who you are.
Yeah, because you put the whip on your hand. She's like, oh, I know about that because...
Well, she also knows you're the wanted guys there.
Well, I'm just saying the whip pretty much told everybody else who has a whip that you're in the area because it blends with your DNA or whatever.
And she also explains about the creeps and the skulls fighting each other on the planet.
Yeah, she gives you a little backstory about what's going on.
And this is also where you get the sniper rifle that you can fire and then move the bullet around.
Yeah. What other game was that? We just talked about one that had the same thing.
Singularity?
Is that what it was?
Yeah, that is sniper kind of like that. Yeah,
okay. I was like, I know this from somewhere, but...
Which is a fun mechanic. Except sometimes, you miss your sniper rifle shot and you're not going to hit a guy, but then you see, a red barrel behind it. You're like, ooh, they're done.
Yeah.
Except every enemy dodges out of the way because they can tell a sniper's coming. That's quick reaction on their part, I would think.
I think the sniper bullet's pretty slow.
Could be.
And you get that thing later where you can control it after it's in somebody. You move the body around.
Oh, really? I didn't see that.
I remember seeing it in the speed run.
The weapons in this game are designed to not only murder people, but to be a lot of fun. Like while you use them.
Yeah, I saw this like drill bit gun or something. If you shot somebody, it would just like take them, like fly them off the screen. It was pretty neat.
Yeah, and then they get like stuck into the wall.
Yeah, and they just spin until every part of their body's gone. Pretty cool.
Yeah, and I don't know if we were super clear about it, but basically it's like a combo-based fighting system where you get more skill points for the crazier combos you put out or new combos that you do. Like you get maybe 1,000 points for doing a combo the first time, and the next time's 500, then every time after that it's like 50 or 10 or whatever. But the point is to like string stuff together and try different ways to kill people.
It's like the Tony Hawk of shooters.
Exactly. Could not have said it better myself. I just wasted everyone's time with all those stupid words.
I just cut it out.
Okay.
But anyway, you find Trishka here, and you cause the dam to collapse.
Yeah, basically.
Pretty much, you just blow up the dam.
Another fuck up by Grayson.
Yep, that's kind of his MO. And then you survive by jumping like 70 feet out to a line, I guess, and then sliding to a platform.
Oh yeah, it's like a power cord or something.
Yeah, just
You do this a lot in the game, where you just jump onto a cord and just.
All right, let's take a
Slide
second
down.
to talk about how ridiculous Trishka's garb is. Everybody else is wearing like bulletproof armor, and she's just walking around. And
The wife beater.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's not even a bulletproof wife beater. It's just a regular wife beater.
Isn't it?
I don't know. It could be.
No, like from the waist down, she has like some kind of tactical pants or whatever on, but then a wife beater up top.
That's all she needs.
And never at any point is she like, maybe I should get some armor like you guys. No. We need to see boob shapes if it's a woman in the game, obviously.
Yeah. This game doesn't care about the norm or political correctness.
Or being good.
Oh.
I thought it was amazing.
Seemed pretty decent. Looks like a fun one just to like pop in and shoot up a bunch of shit.
Yeah, it was also came out during the time when Battlefield and Call of Duty were in competing every year, and it was just the same shooters over and over and over again.
Yeah. This was like something different, something Destiny-ish.
Yeah, still very much a shooter, but at least you could like chain someone, bring him into you, shoot him in the face with a shotgun, and then kick him at a massive cactus plant.
Yeah.
They get impaled.
That's pretty cool.
All right, so you end up on that platform or whatever, and fight your way through a town and some sewers, and
Doesn't Ishii get eaten by a plant?
that's
here?
where he gets eaten by a plant.
Yeah. Which is a fantastic moment.
Yeah, and then Trishka's like, "Fuck it, he's dead. Let's go. Let's get the hell out of here."
And he's like, no, we're going to save Ishii because that's going to make me feel better about myself and
Yeah.
my decisions.
Well, Ishii's my
Yeah.
boy. I just
I
met you.
turned him into a half cyborg.
Got to finish the transformation.
Yeah, it's like his only remaining boy. So he's like, oh, I can't fuck this up now.
Exactly.
Grayson's a weird character because he's such a piece of shit, and he does so many piece of shit things like a piece of shit. But then he has this weird moral code where he's like, oh man, I've done so many shitty things. Well, I'm going to save Ishii at least because that'll be like one good thing I did.
Ishii's always been there to help me do these shitty things.
Right. Which I guess by proxy makes Ishii pretty shitty.
Yeah.
I don't think Ishii has a choice because he was following the chain of command in the beginning.
Yeah. He's a underling.
Yeah.
But anyway, you kill the plant and save Ishii. Big surprise.
Yeah, after you get launched out of an elevator. Are we going to just... Oh, wait, that's after you save him.
No, we weren't going to skip over that.
Okay.
But then you kill the plant and get Ishii.
And then you kill the planet, you get Ishii back. Of course you do.
And then you escape through the town in a collapsing building. And
All right, so the building collapses here, and you all just jump into the elevator right before the building collapses?
something.
I don't remember, but
It's pretty close. It's right around that time.
I kind of was zoning in and out at this part.
you get launched like Charlie in the Chocolate Factory. The elevator just gets shot out of there.
With even less control.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, is that the thing where it's like, hey, if you shoot that, he's like, oh, I'm already on it. And
Yeah.
he shot the fucking thing
All you had to say was shoot it.
and just flies out of there. It's amazing how many things they get away. Like, they crash land a gyrocopter and they walk away from it. They fly out of this fucking elevator tube.
you completely forgot about them crashing from space.
Well, yeah.
Look, Ishii didn't exactly walk away from that one, but
Well, he's
I
walking.
see your point. 3 other people did.
Well, Trishka tells you later that the elevator, or does she tell you here? Well, anyway, she's like, they're crash proof.
That doesn't make whatever.
So they're probably bulletproof. I'm pretty sure her words were like, it's crash proof, so it's probably bulletproof.
She also said plants were sentient, so. I like how this is the part where she also likes to inform you that burnouts also exist on this island, along with creeps and skulls.
Oh, you haven't seen one?
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, did I forget to mention them earlier?
Yeah.
But they also exist. You'll know when you see them.
Yeah.
Yeah, she just mentions that there are 2 gangs, the creeps and the skulls, but she doesn't mention which is which, so I still have no idea.
No, she says the skulls are the humans, and the creeps are like the mutated ones. I guess if you can tell them apart.
Mutated humans? Well, there's definitely 2 sides, because the creeps, the ones that are the humans, are like faster. They're the ones that can like dodge.
Well, I think
your
those
leash.
are the mutants, because she says the skulls are something to do with tattoos, and they think they're funny or something, but they're the human kinds.
Yeah, because they have skull tattoos on
Yeah.
their face, right?
Yeah. And then creeps are the other ones, the mutated ones. And burnouts are even more mutated than the creeps, I guess.
Well, clearly this is an extremely important topic, and we should talk about it for another 20, 25 minutes.
All right. So which ones did you like the best?
So,
I think I would have sided with the burnouts.
well, speaking of burnouts, I knew this guy.
I'm going to go with the skulls, and that's because none of you guys are going to pick them because they suck.
I like the sharks.
And the jets. But anyway. And then I have you walk through. Every time you walk through something, I just put building. So I'm assuming you're walking through a building. And you fight burnouts.
Let's take a second here, because what's the mission now? I believe the mission, and
You're still
I
trying
might
to
have gotten
find Serrano so you can get off the planet?
Yes, but at this point, you know he's at the top of that one building, right?
Yeah.
So you're trying to get to there
Yeah.
to get to him.
So you could jump on the monorail right now, right?
I have Trishka falls in a hole and gets knocked out, I guess. And you jump in to save her, and Ishii walks away.
Yeah, because Ishii's like, well, we know where Serrano is, and we know the ship's coming there, so we don't really need her.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And then Grayson's like, no, man.
She saved you.
Yeah, and you just
Saved.
turn your back on fucking Ishii. Because
Yeah.
you want that pussy. Jesus.
Classic Grayson.
I
Yeah.
know. Seriously.
Not worrying about anybody else, just caring about the puss.
Yeah, your best friend that's been on every fucking
That you turned
mission
into a
with you,
cyborg.
that you almost killed with your fucking hubris. Jeez.
Whom you said earlier, all you wanted to do was get him off the island.
Well,
Like how quick that changed when a lady shows up. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Especially when the lady shows up and calls him the cranky Japanese
Uh-oh.
robot man.
Yeah.
I can't wait to get done here so I can go to the gym.
Just wait till we get to Serrano. Good Lord.
And then this is where Trishka tells you that she was Bryce Novak's daughter that you saw in the beginning in the scene, which we didn't mention, but in the flashback. And
Right.
Of course, Grayson doesn't say he was the one that killed him.
He's
but
like, oh yeah, Serrano had him killed.
he told us he got him killed. Yeah, I don't know who did it.
Yeah, never heard of the guy, but I saw it on a computer.
I called in sick that day.
Which is an interesting age difference, because by the end of the movie, they're not romantically involved at all at the end. I don't think anything's implied, but it's just them two who survive.
Yeah, but you assume it would be like 10 years difference from when they killed that guy.
Right, because that's what they said. It was 10 years.
Oh, did they? Okay.
Yeah, from Novak dying to... They were space pirates for 10 years before this happened. But even then, she was in that beginning scene as like a little child, and Ishii told her to like hide.
Oh.
That was a little girl. But if she was like 8 or 10, that means maybe she's 18 or 20, and they're like 40.
Yeah.
Yeah, because in the flashback, it just says a few years earlier.
Yeah, it didn't. I was just guessing 10, but...
I think from the wiki they had 10, but they might have been speculating too. I have no idea.
Yeah. Well, they know what century it is in the wiki, too. They say it's like the 26th century or something.
Right. And I guess you could... And Syintist, I may be stepping out of line. I expect
I'll let you know.
to
I'll
correct
let
me
you
here. Okay, respect. But I guess when you're messing with space travel and long distances traveled, time slows down for some people as opposed to others who may like stay on a planet.
That's a good.
You know what I
enough
mean?
one.
Like,
Yeah.
like if you're traveling to like Jupiter, it takes
Time's
so
going.
long, and if you're frozen in time, you understand where I'm getting at. Like in Interstellar, when he comes back and his 8-year-old daughter's like 90 years old.
Yeah, exactly like that.
It's good enough for you to understand, but it's not exactly what happens. We don't have time to get into that.
We'll have a whole other episode.
Yeah.
Special episode.
We'll have a
about
special
that.
episode dedicated to the twin paradox.
Okay, well, I hit the highlights.
Exactly.
But yes, that's a point. Yeah, the time
Okay.
could have went differently, but I mean, she's also had enough time to train and become a master of Final Echo or whatever the hell they are. And
But she's not out to just revenge her father. Like, that's not why she's doing this, right? That just happens.
well, I thought she was joined that force to try and
Yeah,
Because
because the Force said that he was killed by rebels or something, right?
yeah, even though she saw it happen.
That's why she joined.
Yeah,
Yeah, she saw the whole thing happen, and she saw that they were clearly like soldiers. I mean, it's not like she's a little kid. It's not like she knew what unit it was, but
Well, they said they were rebel soldiers.
although Grayson looks exactly the same.
exactly the same uniform and everything.
Well, you
We're
get
not
more.
making another character model. Fuck it.
I mean, I can understand
do it.
Ishii. He's half cyborg now, but you should be able to tell that.
Excellent point. Excellent point.
But then, soon after this, the Hecaton monster comes back. Yeah, and you end up at a helicopter where Ishii is somehow.
You are with Trishka, and you finally get to the top of the building, and Ishii's like
He's over
cornered
there.
in a firefight.
Yeah.
So he was like slightly ahead of you. But apparently he didn't kill anybody. He just ran ahead and left you and Trishka to shoot people, which is kind of a dick move.
I've played with people like that.
Yeah, we won't mention names.
Fair point. You're right. So, but then you get to the hotel roof or whatever it was, and you get on a helicopter and you start fighting Godzilla Monster.
Yeah, shooting him in the back of the head where he has a huge gash for some reason.
Gash.
Nice. So this is definitely a game that I'll say wants you to succeed, so it will light up the parts on bosses you're supposed to shoot.
Yeah. It's more
Well,
of
she
a,
also explains where do you shoot. There's a gash on his head. Shoot it.
it's a casual friendly game.
Yeah, it's not a guess and check game. It's a let's move this along shooter.
Yeah. It's like you came here for the witty banter.
Yeah.
If you want to call it that.
Yeah. I don't.
Well, I will say there's some very creative insults in this game.
Yeah. I think not
So
really.
Mr. Remender was trying.
I'm
I
pretty
wouldn't
sure
call them creative.
I'm pretty sure he had like 20 different words
And just
written on pieces of paper and just pulled 6 out of a hat and made an insult out of it.
I was thinking maybe a word on each side of a 6-sided die and then rolled 3 of them.
Exactly.
That's what it is. Dumb shit fuck.
We know how to write our game now. Boom, easy.
Well, I got that covered. If you got a game, I can write insults for it.
And while I'm not as great at the insults, if you want them to talk like 1930s gangsters, I am all over it. I'll get that easy.
It's true. I seen it.
So you're on the helicopter and you fight the Godzilla.
And he killed the Godzilla.
And then you get the Serrano on top of the building.
And you don't kill him right away. Oh, because
Well, Ishii wants to keep him alive so he can get off.
All right, this I had a little problem with.
Oh, just this.
Yeah, because you get to the top of the building, and fucking Trishka whips out her gun and aims it at Serrano's head.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm gonna fucking shoot him. Okay,
She
that's
has.
fine. That's fine. And then Grayson takes his gun and he's like, I'm gonna fucking shoot him, and that's what pisses off Ishii.
Yeah, Ishii pulls his gun and aims it at Trishka.
Oh, he aims it at Grayson.
Oh, does he have Grayson?
Yeah.
I just have Ishii's pissed, Trishka's pissed.
So I have a question. I think I'm messing up the timeline in my head, but at this point, the reason Trishka pulls the gun on him, because she was a soldier under him,
Yeah.
just like Grayson and Ishii were before. But I believe Grayson and Ishii told her when they were going through the buildings or whatever that Serrano was the guy that's responsible for her father's death. And that's why she's mad at Serrano now, right?
Well, she asks him, too. She points the gun and asks him.
Yeah. It was
But
straight
this is the
up
first time she confronts him about it. Like, she
Yeah.
had no idea about this until she ran into those two.
until she ran into Grayson and he said that Serrano had her father's murder ordered. That's the first she's
Okay.
heard about it.
Got it. I just wanted to get that right in my head. Anyway, so what happens on this roof? Because it's juicy as shit. Why don't you tell us about it, Syintist?
My God. Well, everybody, there's a Mexican standoff. Sorry if that's racist. I don't know.
I don't think so.
And
I think that one's still okay.
and Serrano just happens to mention that there's a DNA bomb on the Ulysses.
Oh,
And
yeah.
it's
He's
set
like,
to-
don't kill me.
Yeah, he's like, there's 2 hours left. We got to stop it because my ship's coming in 3. So we got to stop that bomb from blowing up. Whatever a DNA bomb is. It sounds like some kind of perverted sex move.
Or like a terrible tequila drink.
Yeah. Yeah, they put like mustard in it or something.
Is that
Yeah,
before-
something that's some condiment. I was gonna say mayo, but you're right. We're on the same page right now, scientists.
Yeah.
But which I have a lot of questions about the DNA bomb because they discuss it and they say that the whole point of the DNA bomb, because they were at the planet to deliver the DNA bomb. That's
Yes.
why the Ulysses was even there. The point was to drop the DNA bomb and kill every living thing, but leave structures intact,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
so
the
that they
nu-
can make it a resort island again.
like the neutron bomb from the Dead Kennedys Kill the Poor song.
Well, actually, I was thinking of kind of like what happened in Horizon Zero Dawn, where everything was wiped out and they could start everything all over again.
Oh, yeah, it just kills organic material
Yeah.
and then buildings stand.
But if wouldn't this mean like all plant life would die?
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, the plant life sentient, they don't want that there.
according to Trishka.
Whether they're sentient and have feelings and shit or not, they will straight up eat people.
They straight up ate somebody in front of
I
me.
think it's more
Are
instinctual.
you really going to question it?
Yeah, I am.
There is, you know what makes up for it completely, scientist? There's a combo where did you see those like circular red balls that explode?
Yeah,
They're, like
yeah,
around
yeah.
the world. You can kick one of those at the plants and it'll eat it, and then it'll blow itself up. I forget
Yeah.
what it's called, but there's like a special move with that, and it was so much fun.
All
the
the
time.
all the names of the special skill shots were.
Stupid.
You didn't even see the rarer ones that.
No. I saw one where the guy just like, you grab the guy, you run behind him, you kick off his fucking armor from his ass, and then you shoot him in the ass.
Yep, that was one
It's
of
called
them.
rear entry or something.
Yeah,
probably.
something stupid.
Yeah, it was. It might be a trophy, I think.
It probably is.
But that one of my favorite. My favorite was just the easy one, the voodoo doll, where you would just kick someone, they get impaled on something.
Oh, it's pretty sweet.
Like that's kind of clever. But anyway, so is this the roof where Serrano's like, well, you guys need me to live and get off this planet, so I'm just gonna push this bitch right off the rooth.
Yeah.
And that's what he does.
Just
I don't even know why he does. I guess because she finds out now that he ordered her dad to die. Because he does mention something like, don't you wonder who carried out that order?
yeah.
But that's like way later.
Yeah, he doesn't say that.
Like
now.
he
then-
saves that
Okay.
for later.
Yeah, he's
But
just
he
like,
still
"Fuck
just
this
fucking throws
bitch."
her off the roof.
Yeah, he just knocks her off the roof. Ah!
He just gets her to put her gun down, and then he's like, "Ah, fuck you,
Yep.
idiot."
300s are right off the edge.
Oh man, yeah, and then we get to spend some quality time with Serrano, who we'll say insensitive to everything
Well, yeah,
and everybody.
yeah, he's pretty cool.
I was gonna say he's a hardened soldier.
He's a sociopath.
But you need him to deactivate that DNA bomb.
It's like, imagine if growing up, the only way you ever learned to communicate with other people is through punching and insults. That's
exactly
Serrano.
what it is.
Like, who the fuck saw this guy's psych profile and was like, yeah, let's make him a general?
It might
That's
have
the
been
kind of guy we need.
might have been years of being a general. Like all that power went to his head that turned him into what he is.
I think you're a dick, and then maybe there's power.
Well, yeah, it's 2700s. Who knows? Who knows how they pick generals anymore?
It's a good point. It's just a goddamn shame we couldn't iron out this social acceptability in 2600. Jesus. But now it's the three of you, and the point is to get to the Ulysses and shut off the DNA bomb, right?
Yes. I don't remember exactly what happens here. I just wrote down Ishii waxes poetic. Does he like go off on a thing about, I'm glad you made me go through this, and
I don't remember.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about. I think this is where they have a moment. Ishii and Grayson have a moment.
yeah.
Where he's like, I don't blame you for this. Like, I
Yeah.
know shit sucks, but I signed up for this. Like, I knew I was gonna
Oh.
die in this life. So
And he's like, "Don't worry what my robot says.
yeah,
this
yeah.
is
something
what
like that.
this is what makes this is what I mean." Yeah.
That he can get away with anything from now on.
Yeah.
Just blame the robot AI.
Just make his eye turn red and be like, "Fuck you, asshole." Oh, sorry, it was a robot.
I didn't grab your ass. It was the robot.
He just starts jacking off in a park. Like, it's a robot. I'm half robot. Can't control it. I'm trying so hard to control it, guys.
You guys have no idea.
Everyone's like, oh, yeah, we have those all over society.
So you go through like toxic waste, underground.
Toxic sewer. That's what I have written here.
I guess it's where all the toxic things from the resort ended up.
Before that, just before that, you're going through part of the resort that has like lightning flying outside the atmosphere.
Oh, where it's like you can't walk outside.
Yeah, you can't even go like near the edge or you get zapped. But this is where Serrano explains the atmosphere thing. This is where he explains the first part. He explains the second part when they go underground. But and I wanted to point this out. There's a reason I brought us back here. It's because as you're passing through the thing with the lightning, Ishii says something along the lines of, "Don't go near the lightning." And he's like, "Yeah, of course, you idiot. You're slant." And I'm quoting now. This is not my personal view or the personal view of this podcast. But he says, "Your slanty devil eyes don't see so good."
I thought that was just a reference to his cyborg.
Yeah.
Well, now you guys are just putting me in a corner. I don't appreciate it.
I don't think he said that. I think he said your slightly devil eyes.
I don't think that's what he said. I had the subtitles on mine. I don't think.
Yeah. So,
then you're traveling to the underground prison where he explains a little bit more. This is where he actually explained the whole thing about the toxic and the people destroying the atmosphere and stuff. We mentioned it earlier.
Yeah.
But anyway, moving on. So they're going through the sword, Syintist.
Yeah, you just end up swimming through some of the crap.
And you end up finding the bomb.
Yeah. You get to the Ulysses, and you enter, and you get to the bomb.
Here's the part I don't understand, and maybe you guys can shed some light. But there's a part where they're on like a trestle or a bridge or a walkway, whatever. It falls. They get dumped into the floor where the radioactive shit's there, and they kind of just run through it quickly.
Yeah, it looked like they were getting damaged, though.
They were, but this is the same radiation that turned those humans into like mutants that with glowing balls on them.
It took years.
Well, yeah, but if you were getting poisoned by radiation, would you hang out by the radiation?
I did like how he said when they were running through it, like, "Don't breathe." Like, that's going to stop the radiation.
I don't think he understands how radiation works.
I'm just saying, you're setting an expectation with the mutants and the radiation, and then all of a sudden these guys run through it, and they're like, yeah, it's probably fine.
Well, they had no other choice. They did fall into it, you know.
Right.
It's not like they were chicken fighting or something.
Or they just going to stand there. Oh, my God, get it off. Get it off.
Chicken fighting. Oh, I love you, Syintist. I don't know. That's fantastic. But so you're underground, and there's like a sequence where you run into the you're climbing like across the trestle, and you run into the monsters, and they're like running away from something. And you see it's like these little insect things that are radioactive.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And then you run into a new enemy. I forget what they're called.
Radioactive.
They're kind of more annoying than everything, because there's the sequence where you're on an elevator, you're trying to go up back to the main area, and they're like trying to sabotage it, so they're like blowing themselves up.
Yeah, they kind of remind me of like head crabs from Half-Life.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that looked annoying too.
Like face huggers. They just jump on you.
And then Serrano says some other wild shit, and he says wild shit the whole game. But in this point, he makes jokes about the mutants, and he's like, "Can you believe it? These are the tourists that didn't get off the island. What a bunch of assholes!" It's hilarious. Like, that seems a little inappropriate.
I don't think they tried to make him likable.
No, they wanted you to just want to kill him. Yeah.
But I never thought I'd find an enemy that's so thrilled and happy about being unlikable.
Yeah, true. They nailed that.
Yeah. I mean, it's over the top. It's funny. He says some horrible shit, and you're like, man, what an asshole. And then by the end, when he dies, you're like, yeah, that's what you get, you motherfucker.
But you got to support the troops, man.
It works.
You got to support the troops.
You got to support the troops.
Gotta.
It's a pro-troop podcast.
2 of... All right.
But anyway, you ride the elevator shooting those stupid little monsters going up to stop it. Then you get to the top, and the Ulysses is right there.
And you go arm the bomb.
Yeah.
Oh,
Disarm the bomb.
You go to disarm the bomb. And he's like, why don't you type this in while I read it to you?
Yeah. We got to do it from two things.
Yeah. You are a dumb tit.
That's the activation code.
How's that the activation code?
Guess it's Serrano.
Every once in a while, a random thing's going to come up with words.
I guess.
And the whole way to the ship, you see all these dead bodies from the Ulysses. And Serrano is such a prick. He's like, look at all these innocent people you killed.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah. Look at this guy.
700 souls. It's like, oh, you mean past the mothers and fathers you just killed?
Yeah. I kind of like that. That was his best.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty good. It's true, right?
He wasn't wrong, but Ishii's like, dude, he's like, Serrano, shut up. And then
Yeah.
he just keeps, like, he mentioned it, like, it had to be 8 to 10 times.
It's
Like,
pretty
he
good.
really laid it on.
Well, I
Gracie.
mean, it should make you feel shitty that you killed all those people just to get your revenge on Serrano.
Yeah, and he's like, how many people did
It
you
should,
kill
yeah.
for me? I don't know. If they were innocent, these are innocent people. A fucking ant
Yeah.
in my house.
Yeah, it just seems. I don't want to say Grayson has a moral code and he's supposed to be our protagonist, but if you were to like list out all the actions Grayson did, he looks like a pretty big piece of shit too.
Yeah, he's not a great guy. He just feels holier than thou all of a sudden because he found out one guy wasn't a fucking who he thought he was.
Right. And then he's like, "Oh, you're just going to DNA the bomb, the planet, blah blah blah," and he doesn't give a shit that the planet's going to be DNA bombed and everything's going to die for real at all. He doesn't care about that. He's just like, "Well, I don't want to be on it." Like,
Well, really, I mean,
Well, then you arm the bomb.
yeah,
'Cause,
you
well,
find
you
out,
arm it.
oh my
Yeah.
God, it was armed. You idiot.
And then you run around for a little bit, and then Trishka shows up and breaks you out of the little place you are.
Yeah, and they're like, how'd you survive? Oh, duh, idiot. I jumped on a fucking power line
Yeah.
while I was falling.
I'm a Final Echo
You've
soldier.
done it like 6 times in the game. You don't think I can do it too?
and I will say that did either of you guys play this?
No.
No.
Okay, I played it for PS3 when it came out, and I played the remaster. I played it again because it's fucking fun. Like
Yeah.
it's straight up fun. But I remember this sequence because you had to like run around try to find an exit. You couldn't. Then you found like a grate, and you're like, oh shit, this is the way out. You go down the grate, you come up the other side, and you're in the same fucking room. Like they make you do things, and it feels even more hopeless. I thought that was actually pretty clever.
I thought that was pretty neat.
I did like watching that in the speed run too, because the guy's like, you have to go over here, do this, and come back. And then you go through the grate, and you end up back in the same room.
Right. I thought that was interesting because you really thought like, oh, this is the way out. Because of course I'm not going to die right here in this room, obviously. So that was a fun moment. I will give the game its propers for that. But then how do you even get out of this room?
Well, Deus Ex Machina. Trishka
Which
shows
he-
up.
Which he says out loud. Come on. Trishka, Deus Ex Machina.
You think that was supposed to be in like parentheses in the script?
Yeah, exactly.
No.
How else would you explain that?
Anyway, she saves you, and then we better hurry to get to the drop shifts before the DNA bomb goes off and kills us.
Yeah, you think you would have, like, how much time does he have now?
It gives you 2 minutes or something, doesn't it? I don't know.
But Serrano was planning on getting off the planet anyway?
Yeah.
Even though he knew you armed a bomb with only 2 minutes left?
Well, I don't know. I don't know exactly. He's already on the ship when you get to there,
Yeah.
because you fight your way to the drop ships, and
Now, you arm the bomb at this point, but I don't think there's a timer on it yet.
okay.
Because you go through like several other portions of the game without the bomb like really worrying about a timer. It's only at the very end where you have like a minute and a half to get to the escape pod or something like that.
So you think Serrano has, like, a fucking button somewhere or something?
It could be that, or he could just be. I think probably he does have a button because he's probably waiting until he gets the fuck off
Yeah.
to detonate it.
That's what I
So it's probably now it was inert, now it's live, and now it's a race to get off the
Yeah.
island.
And you get to the drop ships at the last second, right before you get on.
Yeah.
And this is
Right.
watching that guy play the game too. He didn't slide anywhere, because in the speed run they're sliding everywhere between the things.
Yeah, he got there with, like, 3 seconds left.
Yeah.
Good timing.
Yeah, and now there's also the fight where you're fighting through the elite soldiers, and then eventually you get to the final moment where you corner Serrano.
Yeah.
And I remember too, like Grayson says something like, "You're killing all these." First of all, it doesn't make sense that Serrano's like, "Look at all these people you kill. Can you believe this?" But then his elite fighting force shows up, or his personal guard, or whatever they are. They're soldiers for him.
Yeah.
And then they try to attack you. And where the fuck were they the whole game?
They're staying around Serrano.
It was
Were they like
another
hanging on the
regiment.
ship?
Oh, were they on his drop ship? Maybe.
Yeah,
That's probably what it was. When the drop ship lands, they come out.
Maybe they landed on like another portion of the island and had to fight their way back to them.
yeah,
I don't know.
something. Yeah,
Yeah. Who knows?
I guess.
but still,
But like you didn't see any human enemies until this point.
yeah. And you fight your way and kill all these super elite soldiers, and get to the face down with Serrano.
And then Serrano just shoots Ishii in the back while you're fighting him, right? Like, doesn't Ishii just show up? Or
Well, before that is when Trishka's like demands to know who kills her father, and then Serrano tells him Grayson's squad did it, and then the three of them argue, and then that's when Serrano like throws his leash at Ishii and like takes over the AI.
Yeah,
oh yeah, it takes.
Then you have
control
that
of
huge
Ishii.
moment. Which, I mean, why didn't he do that when he was on top of the roof with just he and Grayson?
It
You know what I
seems like
mean?
he
That would have
got
ended
the-
this way quicker.
It seems like he got the whip from the dropship. Like he didn't have that whip earlier.
That's possible
maybe.
because you never see him use it in the game. They're just
Yeah.
him and Ishii are just shooting the whole time. They don't use whips.
Yeah,
and
until
you
he
might
gets-
need your help to get to the bomb in the first place.
True.
Right. But then you're about to you're not Ishii, but Ishii attempts to strangle and kill Grayson, and even then he's like, "Sorry, sorry, bro, but
yeah.
I can't do anything about this."
Serrano's controlling me.
But then eventually he breaks it, and he sacrifices himself, and that's when Serrano kills him.
Yeah, it's a flashback because we didn't mention this, but in the beginning, when we got the flashback to few years earlier, Grayson takes a bullet for Ishii.
That's right. I completely forgot about that. Ishii was like talking to the little kid or whatever,
Yeah.
and he wasn't paying attention, and Grayson took a bullet for him.
Yeah.
But yeah, then he shoots Ishii in the back, and then there's a fight with Serrano, I guess you can call it. He throws you around with the leash a little bit. You end up getting a gun.
And then he starts on fire.
Yeah,
Which
very
is always a fun moment.
anticlimactic.
Yeah.
It was. I remember that fight being like, really? That's okay. I guess that's what we're doing. It wasn't a difficult boss fight. You know what I mean? It was
Yeah.
more like the pageantry of it than the actual fight.
Exactly.
And then, does the dropship start to crash, or do you get in an escape pod here and fly away?
Serrano ejects you and Trishka out of like a drop. It's not a drop ship, but it's like a platform that drops to the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's like 4 platforms that he drops.
Oh yeah, because I was wondering why he drops the other platforms with the guys. Why not just drop the one with you on it?
He just dropped everybody. Said, fuck it. Bam. They're
Yeah.
all dead.
So yeah, I'm out of here.
So basically, this is where the timer hits, and you have like a minute and a half or 2 minutes, whatever it was, to get to an escape pod because the bomb's going to go off.
And you do.
And yeah, you get to the escape pod, and the bomb goes off and wipes all the life off this planet.
Yeah, you watch the entire planet turn to fucking. Looks like a moon.
And then you have your heart-to-heart with Trishka where she's like, I don't blame you. I know you were just following orders. You didn't know.
It's Malik from Assassin's Creed again.
Yep.
Yeah, another Malik. We get him everywhere. And then it's like, it's cool. But what is the implication here? Is the implication they're going to, like, go after Serrano again? Or are they setting up for a sequel? I didn't understand what the vibe was between them two.
Yeah, I don't know, guys. Serrano's, I guess, is still kind of alive.
Yeah, because you don't make sure he's dead. He's off the planet, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's on the ship with Ishii at the end.
I was a little bit behind on my planning this week, and I just watched this like 2 hours ago. But this is where there was like a post-credit scene
Yeah.
where, well, they all know that Serrano escaped, but there's a post-credit where it's just black and it's all just sound. And Serrano's pissed because they did a better cyborg fix-up of Ishii than him.
What?
Oh yeah. he's
Yeah,
like-
yeah. It's just a post-credit scene. He's like, why is his job better than mine? What the fuck? And he's like mad about it. And the guys you just hear, I don't know, some random doctor, scientist or whatever. And he's like, well, your organs were liquid. Like, there's only
We
so
did
much
the best we could
Like-
do. Yeah.
Why was it liquid? He was just burned.
And he's like, fucking fine, whatever. And then Ishii's alive too. So I guess the implication is that there's going to be a sequel, and Serrano and Ishii are going to be the bad guys or something like that.
So when's the sequel coming out?
I don't know. I never did any research if it's ever going to happen. I think
Probably
that
not.
that's the thing. Like, it was a fun game, and I don't know how it sold because a lot of people know about the game. It's not like when we did The Suffering,
Yeah.
and fucking no one in the world knows about that game except for like me and 3 other dudes.
Now, this one was heavily, like,
It was marketed. It was
Yeah.
like there was a push for it.
it was a good market campaign.
And it's very confusing. Why did they do the remaster then? Because, like, I thought the game was big enough, like it was in the social consciousness enough.
So instead
But I
of doing a
didn't know if it deserved a
remaster,
remake.
why not just make a second one? That's what you're saying?
Or
Right.
Maybe they did the remaster so they can throw a second one.
Yeah, just to be like, hey, don't forget about this game. Maybe we'll do something.
Or it's just a way to get money from something they already own.
That's still fun to play. Yeah.
I'm seeing an article that says there was a planned sequel, but we're never going to play it.
Yeah, sounds about right.
I think the remaster was going to be or was either, I guess, gauging the marketplace or trying to see if people wanted it. And it
Oh,
just
that
didn't,
makes the most
didn't
sense.
do well
yeah.
enough, so they bailed on the sequel, maybe.
Well, they waited too long.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing, like, about games are just like movies. Like, once the property's created, it's owned by a studio or an entity. And it's like, well, if they don't think it's viable, they're not going to make another one.
Yeah, exactly.
Even if
Unless
someone
they
else
get
will do
sold
it.
someday. Yeah, it's not like someone else can just be like, well, we kind of liked it. Can we make it? Like, that's not how it works. Because you'd probably have to pay so much goddamn money to People Can Fly or Epic Games or whomever.
Yeah, I've never heard of People Can Fly before or since.
Or Gearbox now because they remade it.
Yeah, I've never heard of Gearbox.
Maybe. Well, I mean, Gearbox probably has the rights. They might have
Oh,
bought it
yeah,
at some
yeah.
point.
Possibly. It's interesting that they utilized Gearbox to just do the update. Because Gearbox was not involved when the game first started.
Maybe
Or
it's
up
just
till its
distribution.
release. Maybe just like that publishing aspect of it.
Yeah, who knows? We'll never know. We're not part of the behind the
Yeah,
scenes.
if you did work on these games and you do know, email us.
And I will get back to you.
plottytime@gmail.com.
Personally.
Or hit our socials up.
Yeah, it's at Plotty Time on all the things.
Syintist. Final thoughts. Would you play it? Are you desperately waiting and hoping that they come out with a sequel? Did you hate it? Did the story work for you? Talk to us.
Well, I gotta say, I watched the speedrun first, and I thought it looked fun. I was like, oh, I'd play that. And then I watched the movie and saw how annoying all the characters were. So I don't think I would. The story was kind of boilerplate stuff. It's just, hey, let's get off this planet.
Yeah.
A lot of annoying people. Yeah, I might play if it was like free on a download for PS Plus.
Yeah, I definitely do the PS Plus.
But I wouldn't pay for it, definitely. I gave it a 10.
Okay. I don't want to be this guy and call you out on air, but it actually was a free PS Plus game on November 2018.
Shut the fuck up.
So you probably have it in your
It
download
might be in
list.
my-
in your
It might.
library.
It might be
your
in there.
library.
Damn.
Or maybe I just didn't even get it that month. I missed a couple of months here and there.
Maybe. I do too. I forget to go in, and usually I like to go in like online to the store and just dump them in my cart and just
Yeah.
dump them to the library so I have them but not download them.
I'm gonna have to look if I picked it up.
It
Well,
seems
if it-
like one
if-
I would have definitely put in my life.
If it ever comes out free on PS Plus again,
Perfect. That's fair. I'll take it. Now you're more conscious. You're aware of the game.
Yeah.
So.
or it might have been like at a point where I had like 8 games to play, and I was like, I don't want to get this one.
Or you didn't even think about
Yeah.
free games for the
Yeah.
month. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure if that's a good game idea for one of our very special episodes. We just name games, and it's like, was this free on PS Plus? Yes or no? And did you download it?
Well, just, the library recap is what we'll call it.
Oh, mine is so long.
I know. It's bad. Because there was a point where I like to buy my games digitally now, so I don't have to like actually get up and change the disc like an asshole.
Well, who
Smart.
does that? Assholes do. You're right.
Fuck you, I buy all of them.
But there's so many like the PlayStation free games or games I bought for like $2 on a sale that I honestly don't remember ever buying or even what they're about.
I believe I have over like 400 in my library of games that I've purchased or had free at some point in the last
Do they eventually
10 years.
become not free? If they're not?
As long as your PS Plus doesn't run out.
Oh, all right.
So as long as that's active.
Yeah, and how long has PS Plus been around?
2013 maybe? Because remember when online came out for PS3, it was originally free.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, but I got
They
PS
added
Plus
Plus
anyway.
I remember the big uproar for, PS Plus. It's like you don't have to buy it, but we're going to give you free games.
Plus, back then, Xbox was charging people like for Xbox Live, and that was a selling point for PlayStation that they didn't charge. But nowadays, you have to have PlayStation Plus.
Yeah.
Because some of these games are all online, and they're worthless if you don't have it.
Exactly.
Back then, it was different. It was like you could play the single player, and if you wanted to get in multiplayer and play against somebody else, you had to have PlayStation Plus.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure God of War you can still play, get away with.
I also bought so many games, like Poppascotch said, for like $3-4.
Yeah, just sales because you had PS Plus.
Yeah. And it's games I probably even forgot existed.
That's right, PlayStation. Come
All right, now
sponsor
we went off on that tangent for a little bit.
Yeah, give us free shit because clearly we don't have enough of it. Apparently,
Chump Slap, what did you think of Bulletstorm?
So would you give it a 10 out of 27?
Yeah,
All right.
it was better than The Suffering, but not as good as Assassin's Creed.
I thought it was good. I mean, I didn't play it, so I was thinking about it. I was thinking, oh man, this could be a 20 out of 27, but then I was like, oh, it probably gets boring and doing the same thing over and over again. Kind of get a little monotonous. Plus, there's not like loot, which is a big thing for me in games. I love loot.
right?
So I just gave it a 15 out of 27. But
Yeah, the play looks a lot more fun when someone's doing things differently than the guy who was actually playing.
I might check my library and pop it on one of these days, but we'll see.
Did the story work for you? How did you feel about just strictly the story?
Strictly the story, nothing. It didn't sway me one way or the other. Gameplay looked fun. That's the only thing that made it look playable.
Right. And I'm going to agree with you. Like, I think there's aspects of the story I really like. Like, I like the fact that it was, like, one of the best games that ever existed, Kane and Lynch 2 Dog Days, where the catalyst was you screwing something up and being an asshole and then paying for that, essentially, and seeing all of this horrible shit happen because of one thing you did. I like that, but then again, at the same time, it's been done. Like when they did it in Kane and Lynch 2 Dog Days.
Or Assassin's Creed 1.
Or Assassin's Creed 1.
Or
exactly.
Kane and Lynch 1. No, I'm just kidding.
I thought it was one of those systems where the story was good enough to not make the game feel repetitive or boring. Like, you're always getting to one other point. You're always getting somewhere. There's no fetch quests. There's no, like, oh, in order to find Trishka, we got to get through the bridge section with these things, and it's, like, completely out of character. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you're always trying to get to a point. So I'm going to give the story – I'm going to just do the same thing Chump Slap did. I'm going to say 15.
Nice.
Which brings us to a total of 40 out of 81 stars.
That's not bad.
Is that the highest rated one?
No. Assassin's Creed, I think.
What was that?
I don't know. I didn't write the...
Well, I know Poppascotch keeps a list.
Oh, yeah. I totally...
Oh, never mind then.
No,
Assassin's Creed, I think, was in the 40s. I'd have to listen to it again. I don't know what we picked.
Yeah,
I thought you actually wrote them down.
Nah. It's not
No,
worth
that
it.
would actually be proper planning and management.
All right, so I didn't write any down, so just throw your quotes at me.
Oh, yeah. You didn't have any quotes written
I
down?
didn't write them down because I figured you'd all write them down, and there'd be just too many of them to go through.
You go ahead first, Chump Slap, because I need to cut this list down.
All right. I got like 3 of them here. Well, we had Cranky Japanese Robot Man. But in the beginning, when you're looking for something for the doc who's fixing up Ishii, he's like, whoa, what's taking you so long? Kill faster, idiot. I thought that was hilarious. And then I have one here. I believe it's Serrano, but he says this to someone he's killing. It's like, take a lick of the salty taint of doom, you biker whores.
Biker
Yeah.
whores.
Yeah,
he
he
says
says.
biker whores.
Yeah, I have one of those too, where he says, "Suck the tears off my dick, you ugly mudfuckers."
Yeah.
Oh, I remember that one. I do remember that one.
All right. The last one I have. Oh, no, I have two more.
Go for it.
Trishka, when you first run into her, she's like, crazy shit I seen down here will turn your asshole purple.
Yeah. That I didn't understand.
It's like, I don't know
Most of them I didn't understand.
what that means. And then, I don't know who says this one, but hold your dick for 1 second, you fungal rim job.
That's a good one. I'm gonna assume that was, I don't know, because Trishka's a lot in the butt stuff, but Serrano's the dick stuff. So
Yeah, I think it was Grayson
Could go
or
either way.
Serrano. I don't know.
could go either way. I think you can't overlook Rel, even though he was only in a couple seconds of the game. He had two of my favorite quotes where after they blow the guy out the airlock and he has the bomb on him, and Grayson's like, "What the fuck? You didn't check him?" Grell says, "Don't delegate important things to the intoxicated," which is just good life advice.
That's quality.
And then he also says, I forget what this is in reference to. I think they were going to get the battery cell, but Rel says, "Well, let's just call off the mission, man. Skippy Granola's groovy dream catcher is picking up some bummer vibes."
I completely missed
I
that
didn't
one.
hear that. That's so
That
fucking
was
good.
it's in the beginning because Rel's in the game for 5 minutes, but that was a good one. And there's a couple more where Ishii was trying to make the train work properly, and Grayson's like, "Can't you do this shit any faster?" He goes, "You want to do it? Fine. I do not speak train."
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
And the last one I'll say, this was a good one that Trishka said. She goes, "You're the one who shit the bed. I just washed the sheets." Which, pretty apt description.
That's
of the game.
pretty good. I like that.
Yeah, so that does it for this week for this game. Let's go ahead and let's move on to our favorite segment of the week. Every week we ask Syintist for a guaranteed 100% gambling lock of the week.
I didn't do any research this week, guys. Sorry. So just take your money. We're going to gamble and donate it to the Frame Fatale Speedrun Marathon. It's going to be May 12th to the 16th. Just do that.
Okay.
Well, that sounds like a lock.
I was pausing for the sound effect.
Yeah, it's a all-female speedrunners marathon for the week.
That sounds fun. What's
Sounds awesome.
As of right now, I don't know what the charity is, and I'm pretty sure I timed it right that this will come out before it. But
so
who
it's
knows?
it's pretty good charity though.
Yeah, probably. They usually do it.
Probably something like game related.
Awesome. So take all your stuff, sell it, and then flip that, sell your money, and then just donate all your money to a good cause.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're not going to get any money back this week, but
the Frame Fatale Speedrun.
it is a lock.
So that moves us on to our second segment of the week, and we're going to go with a theme here because we are in Chump Slap's recommendation window. Every week we ask Chump Slap for a recommendation on a random topic, and he gives us a recommendation. So this week, Chump Slap, let's go with a theme here. Let's go with the donating theme. What could be something uplifting that you could recommend to someone? Could be a movie, could be a book, could be a charity to donate to. What's something good that someone can put their time towards?
We'll just give to this charity that
There
Syintist
we
is
go.
talking about. 'Cause
Chatterbait.
Chatterbait was the name of the... That was not the name of the charity.
No, that's an uplifting thing.
That's true. That's true. So what was the name of that charity again?
What's the charity?
Oh, I don't know.
No, the one you had.
Oh, it's just a marathon. I don't know what they're donating to.
Yeah, I have no idea, man. I didn't think there were any uplifting things in this world anymore.
Good. You don't want to say like donate it to cancer research or
Well, yeah,
a
but
fucking
I'd like to
5K
have
or
a real like
Watch a Tom
organization.
Hanks movie.
Yeah, you can always watch a Tom Hanks movie. But donate to the Michael J. Fox charity for whatever he has.
I don't know.
Parkinson's disease?
That's it.
Parkinson's. Yeah. Go help them out. I mean, they need it.
It is called the Michael J. Fox Foundation, which can be found at michaeljfox.org. go ahead and donate to that. While you're at it, that's what Chump Slap recommends. And then the other charity, the female, what was it? What's the rundown again?
Well, the marathon's called Frame Fatales.
Frame Fatales.
It's done by GDQ.
Games Done Quick.
Yeah.
Games Done Quick. All right, and it's all online, it looks like.
Yep. It'll probably be on Twitch, on the GDQ channel.
All right.
I don't know exactly what charity it is. I assume there'll be a charity.
It's a charity of some sort. They're not just taking the money.
Yeah.
I'd hope.
And if they are just taking the money, we will see them in the news again later. For sure. And if they wanted to do that, Syintist, where could they reach us?
On Instagram and Twitter at Plotty Time.
Cool. And if they want to talk to us long form and try to explain themselves to us, Chump Slap, where would they email us?
Well, you email us at plottytime@gmail.com, or you can just save all that and ship it to the PayPal, which is plottytime@gmail.com as well.
Perfect.
Well, I don't know if that's a thing, but it's going to be by the time it comes out.
Awesome. Fantastic. Well, that does us for this week. So everybody take care and donate to something.
Yeah.
Peace.
Peace.
Later.